4 reasons you need a trust in Florida. Most people have heard about trust before, but they still don't know why exactly they should set one up. Keep watching to the end where I'll tell you a bonus reason as well. Hi, I'm Jim Purdy, and today we're going to talk about 4 reasons you need a trust in Florida. So the first reason is pretty well known to most people, and that is to avoid probate. So if you have a will or you don't have a will, then your estate will go to probate when you die. The way to avoid that is to have a trust. Now, why do you want to avoid probate? Well, probate is expensive, it's time consuming, and it's public. And it also doesn't allow you the kinds of protections that you can get in a trust. So if your will goes to probate, there's actually statutory fees and costs that go along with that. And it can be very expensive even on a relatively small estate. If you have, for example, an estate worth $500,000 to say $1 million, which most people who own a house have an estate that size with house pricing the way that it is right now, well, you can expect to pay between 5 to 9% of the value of your estate in costs and fees in probate if that estate goes through probate. Now that adds up in a hurry. That could be $50,000 to $90,000 on $1 million estate. If you have a trust, you can avoid most of those costs. Now probate is also time consuming. The average time to conduct probate varies depending on your location, but you can figure anywhere from 9 to 18 months if everything goes as planned. And if there's any glitches, if there's any problems with, say, creditor claims, or if there's a dispute among family members that require litigation, then that will take even longer. Some probates will last for years while the family fights over the estate. And the third thing is that probate is a public process. Everything that is filed in probate is a public record. Your will has to be filed when probate begins. And so people can tell what your will is about, what your estate is about, and they can tell your business because it's all a public record. Now, some people are fine with that, but most of us aren't. Most of us would rather not have our business a matter of public record. And the only way to do that is to keep it out of probate. And the best way to keep it out of probate is with a trust. Now, when you have a trust, it costs a little bit of money to set up, but it doesn't cost as much to administer it when you die like probate does. You can save at least 5 to 10 times as much setting up a trust and avoiding probate than you would if you have a will and have to go through probate. Now, the reason number 2 of why you should have a trust is to provide for minor children. Now, if you pass away without a trust, the court appoints a guardian to manage any assets that are left to your children until they reach adulthood, because minors cannot control their own property until they reach the age of majority, until they become adults. And whoever the court may appoint as the guardian of your children's property may not be the person that you want. Their values may not align with your values. When you have a trust, you leave your children's inheritance, your minor children's inheritance, in trust, and you name the trustee. You name the person who's going to control that property for the benefit of the children. And that can be the same person who has guardianship of the children, physical guardianship, or it can be somebody completely different. And that's up to you. You get to choose. Reason number 3, you can protect beneficiaries from creditors and legal issues. I always say you can protect them from creditors and predators. Without a trust, creditors and other legal battles can eat up the inheritance of your children. And you can avoid that if you set up a proper trust and put proper protections in place. And that's something that not a lot of people do, not a lot of people are aware of. It's a service that we offer when we do our estate planning that most people want to take advantage of. Reason number 4, you can manage your assets in case of incapacity. And this is really important. Most people don't think about this with estate planning. But estate planning isn't just about when you die, it's also what happens if you become unable to control your own assets, to control your own estate. If you don't have a trust, there's going to be a probate action. And that probate action will be to appoint a guardian of your person and or your property, whatever is needed given the circumstances of your incapacity. Now, if you're a business owner and you're not able to conduct your business, then you need to do estate planning and capacity planning to make sure that your business can continue even if you're not able to conduct the normal business that your business is involved in. And I'll give you a quick example. This happened to a very good friend of mine. He was a contractor. He had between 15 and 20 people who worked for him at any given time. And those people helped him build restaurants all over the state of Florida. That was his niche. And he was very good at it, made a lot of money at it. And then he had a stroke. Now, once he had the stroke, his business was in trouble because there wasn't anybody else in the business who could run it. And you can imagine his wife, who was a part owner of the business, but who wasn't involved in the business directly and had no experience in contracting or building restaurants or anything else for that matter. She was left to try to make the best decisions she could, but she didn't have the capability, she didn't have the expertise in contracting to make it happen and to make it work. And so there's a very easy fix for this legally. It's a difficult decision on who you choose, but you can choose in your trust. You can name a special trustee for your business in the case of your incapacity. And so you can plan in advance if something bad happens to you and you're not able to carry on in your business, then you've already designated the person who can step in, who has the capability, who has the experience, and who has the ability to carry on your business so it will continue to make money for you and your family even while you're incapacitated. And then when you recover, you step back in. But it's something that every business owner should think about, and really everybody should think about, because even if you don't own a business, you need somebody to take care of your business, your financial affairs and your personal affairs if you become incapacitated. Now, you can do that with a durable power of attorney. That's part of every good estate plan, but you will also want to name a successor trustee who can step in the case of your incapacity to make sure that your estate doesn't miss a beat. Here's the bonus reason I promised. So the bonus reason to have a trust is that you can ensure the distribution of your assets according to your wishes. You have complete control over your trust. And as long as what you're doing is legal, then the law allows it. And you can decide who gets what and who gets it when, and who gets it under whatever circumstances or conditions that you want to place on it. If you die without a trust, if your estate goes through probate, there are what's called the laws of intestacy that govern what happens to your property, what happens to your stuff, and who gets it. It is laid out, and that's the way it goes. And you have no control over that. If you have special needs, if you have children that you want to make sure are provided for, or that you want to put conditions on their inheritance because you're concerned that maybe they have some spendthrift issues, that they might blow it all in the first 6 months. You can put conditions in place to keep that from happening. So control is a huge issue. If you want to control the distribution of your estate, the conditions of it, and your legacy going forward, then you need a trust. Now you know some reasons, the basic reasons why you really need a trust. There could be others depending on your circumstances, but those are the 4 or 5 most important and most universal reasons why people need trusts. So if you live in Florida and you want to learn more about trusts and estate planning, you can book a free consultation with me. You can just click on the button that is below this video and set it up, and I'll be happy to talk to you about your specific needs and your specific estate plan.